Hi, Coach. What has been the mood for training this week, particularly after seeing last night's results and knowing that a very positive result on Wednesday could get you guys through to the next round?
Yeah, really miserable. Sad. No, I think, I'll be honest with you, I think it's not the external results that's creating the energy around the place. I think it's the feeling we've had since, I've got to say, since New England, Minnesota. I take it back before that feeling of real togetherness. Those games, I felt we creeped over the line. I think the last two results, we've imposed ourselves a bit more. The four goals we scored against San Luis was big for the group. You look at the group out on the field today. It's we've got all our men back on the field, and I think there's a real competition for places now. And I think what happens in situations when you get to involve the whole group in games, you get 23 happy players. You get 23 players that are all heading in the right direction, and that's been part of our planning. Is I look at Millsy and Zach, for instance, who have spent a lot of time in that group that's trained always match day +1, match day +2, and that becomes tiring. But when you look over and see all the other guys that have played and got that feeling of success playing head tennis, you think, oh, it's I've been there, I've done it. So I think seeing those guys having their little bit of a regen day today was big for the group. And then you see the quality of the group that was trained today. We're in a really good place. This club's definitely this club's in a really good moment at this moment in time, and I think this week's going to be a great week.
Just a reminder to state your name and outlet. When's Phoenix?
Adam Sussman, Timbers radio broadcast. Phil, a reported signing today. I don't know how much you can speak on it, but obviously a player coming over from Greece reportedly. So what about that sort of profile of a goal-scoring winger that can put a lot of shots on target appeals to you and this attacking front line?
Well, I think 3 weeks ago, I think I sat here and I said that I'd had lunch with the Paulson family. And I said that they can see the good work that everybody's doing and they're going to back us. And I think this week you'll show that the owners have backed us in a big way. And we know that there's a DP spot out there to sign. I think the work that Ned has done behind the scenes has been phenomenal, really. And you don't get anywhere in this business without the backing of your owners. And I think over the last month, I think we felt the full weight of ownership, support, excitement. They see where this team's going. They see the vision of this club. And I've got to say, I think this is going to be a big week for the Portland Timbers. And I think that if you was a Portland Timbers fan this week, there's going to be one or two really, really, really good bits of news.
Tyson Alger with the I-5 corridor. To my very untrained eye, Antony's looking pretty healthy.
He's good to go.
What does his reintegration into the lineup and the team look like?
He's ready to start. Yeah, I think. Well, if you speak to I say you speak to sports science probably. Yeah, we'll say there's a reintegration. There's a progression of minutes. And I'd say for 90% of players there is, but you think about Antony, Forey, Santi. There's just three players that don't need. They're phenomenal athletes. They're born a different gene. They're born with different genetics. 2 weeks ago, he wanted to play against Minnesota. He wasn't ready. We've had to be really patient. On Saturday against Querétaro, I'd say he didn't speak to anyone in the club because he was that angry about not being involved against Querétaro. And everybody wants to play against Club America. So he's in. The next two games, he will feature heavily for us.
Jerry Pearman, Cascadia FC. What have you seen from Club America in their first two Leagues Cup games and their first three games of the Apertura that you think you can exploit on Wednesday's game?
Well, I think they've conceded goals on transition because of their expansive play. You look at their team. I said it to the staff this morning. They're a team of DPs. Every player is a DP level player. DP level salary, DP level player, high level quality, particularly in their front five. So it's a high-level game. What I've seen in the games in the League's Cup is this is a team that doesn't lay down and just and take defeats. They fight right to the very end. They fight, against Minnesota, they had 10 men. Was it against Minnesota they had 10 men? Yeah, I think it was. They've scored in the last minute of games in both games that they've played, and they've gone to penalty shootout. So it's they're not going to roll over. It's a sign of a team that's got tremendous quality and spirit, that they never give in. I think that's the best quality you can have. Beats any kind of talent when you see a team that never gives in. And I think that's what we're going to be coming up against. I think if they hadn't have won the penalty shootout and got the extra point, I think we would have seen a different game. But as soon as they won the penalty shootout, this is a cup final for both teams. Without a shadow of a doubt, the stadium's going to be rocking with their supporters. They probably smell blood a little bit in terms of they win the game, they're through into the next round. And they've got players that have got quality. So I think if there was ever a game to test ourselves against the best, I think this is the game. And we've got a big week. The focus and the priority has to be the game against Dallas. But I've got to say that the way that this is turning out, the priority now has become both games.
Adam Sussman, Timbers Radio Broadcast. I want to ask you about one Quimerica player in specific, Alvaro Fidalgo. Seems like he really runs things in midfield for them, is in the top 1% of all midfielders for all the categories you would like attacking-wise.
Yeah.
What's the challenge that David Ashala and whoever starts next to him in midfield sort of have against a player like that?
I've watched Fidalgo for a long time. When I left into Miami, I did some TV work, and I did the game that they played against St. Louis. I think they won 4-0. They had Quinones up front, but Fidalgo was the one in midfield that caught my eye. I thought he was technically really good, break lines with passing. Like I say, they've got a team of DP players, and that's just one that's obviously caught the eye. We will have to. We've kept 3 clean sheets in 3 games. We're going to have to defend a lot better to keep another clean sheet in this game. We know that probably a clean sheet probably takes us through to the next round. So, but I always think when you play against the top teams and you play in the biggest games, you've got to score goals. You can't sit back. We're going to go there and attack. We're going to go there and be ourselves. We're going to go there and we're going to test ourselves against the best. And I think we want to keep the momentum going. And this is a big game for us to keep the momentum going. And we have 23 fit players. Everybody in the squad's healthy apart from Jonathan Rodriguez. And like I say, we're going to try and make this one of those special weeks in the club's history. And I think this game on Wednesday is probably the biggest the game's had in probably 2 or 3 years. And so that's where we want to be. That's why we play football. That's why we get out of bed in the morning. And we're excited.
Tyson Alger, I-5 corridor. Considering that stage, it's understandable why the players are excited for it and just the profile that's going to be on them. Do you view that as a big stage for you as a coach as well?
No, not really. You want to test yourself against the best managers. I think Jardine is one of the top managers. You want to test yourself against the best teams. Yes. For me, it's just part of the journey. It's part of the experiences that we've had. I want my players to have the most, the top level experiences and to be challenged and to be taken out of their comfort zone. I feel as if Wednesday night is going to be one of those, and my job is to coach, help develop the players that we put on the field. And like I say, I don't think we should look more further than the fact that still the Dallas game is the priority in the week. That's MLS is our bread and butter. MLS is where we want to finish in the top as high as we can, and Wednesday night's a game where we can go and have fun, where there's no pressure on us, and we go out there and have fun.
Hey, Coach. Billy Mark Green is the color. You've been in a situation like this as a player. I'm curious, how do players transition from Wednesday to Saturday, sort of mentally in their prep? Because they're prepping for something in 48 hours, and then after Wednesday, it's immediately transition to Saturday, which is also on their minds.
Yeah.
How does that work as a player when you going from one important, match to the league match?
Look, I think, Billy, that as coaches, we're looking 3-4 games in advance. I honestly think as a player that their only thought is what they're having for lunch today. I don't think they're thinking beyond having their lunch today, knowing my players, and how they're going to get to the airport, and then what snacks they're going to eat on the plane, and what film they're going to download from Netflix to. I don't think they probably don't even know we're going to Dallas on Thursday. You know what I mean? I'm being serious. I think as a footballer, you live in the moment. And I think that's the way you do. As coaches, you live in a moment of, well, you're planning and preparing and you're looking at the bigger picture. I think when I was a player, I was just looking at the next game. Because if you start thinking beyond that, you get caught in the next game. So their focus is on the training today, their travel, their preparation. We're taking them out for a meal in Austin tonight as a bit of as a team bonding. And they're probably thinking what kind of meat they're going to have or pasta they're going to have at the restaurant. And they're probably not even thinking beyond that. That's how a footballer thinks. That's their mentality, is getting the now right. If they do that, there's other people in this building that looks on the more helicopter view, the bigger picture view.